Welcome back to Body Positive Exercise. Today is all about resting, it's all about restoring, and it's all about feeling the abundance. So you're either going to love or absolutely hate this day. There's really no gray area when it comes to resting. Either you embrace the rest, you love it, or it's really, really difficult for you to rest and relax and give yourself permission to do that. So if you're like me, where it's really difficult to rest and relax, this is going to be an interesting day for you. We're going to really explore what it means to rest and relax, why it's so difficult. At the heart of resting and allowing your body to restore and having those days off for movement is that sense of abundance, or maybe lack of abundance. We call this the scarcity mindset, meaning I don't feel like I'm enough just as I am. So when we don't feel good enough or like we've done enough, it's really difficult to give ourselves permission to relax. So this can show up in many ways. It may show up as I don't feel like I got enough sleep. I don't feel like I did enough work. I don't feel like I took care of my children enough. I don't feel like I took care of my house enough. Whatever it is, this scarcity mindset, like we don't have enough of something or that we are not enough, gets in our way of allowing ourselves and giving ourselves permission to relax and restore. So to counteract that feeling of scarcity when we're doing these restorative poses today in our physical practice, we're really going to focus on a couple of mantras that you might want to be speaking to yourself in your mind as you're relaxing and restoring. One of them is, I am simply enough just as I am. Without needing to do anything or prove my self-worth, I am perfectly acceptable and worthy just as I am. Another mantra is, I am acceptable and I am worthy of love just as I am. Try repeating these as we're doing these restorative poses, these restorative exercises. Pay attention to your breath. Allow your breath to simply be. We're going to open up with this physical practice for this day, or these exercises for the day, with an exercise that's going to help encourage relaxation of your muscles. And then after that, I encourage you just to allow your breath to be. Don't try to control your breath, and don't try to increase the length of the inhales or exhales like you might do in a yoga practice. This is simply allowing yourself to be and to rest. So before we start doing any type of restorative poses, we're going to go through an exercise called tense and relax. And this is going to be really important to do before we do the restorative poses, because we want to get rid of any excess tension that we might be carrying around from us. Maybe our jaw, maybe our shoulders, whatever it is, we want to let that go. So we're going to start laying on our backs. Your knees can be bent up or down. You might want to put pillows underneath your legs if you want your legs propped up at all. I'm just going to demonstrate this with my legs straight out. Palms can be up or down, so this is like, yes, a Shavasana pose in yoga, but we're going to do something a little different. We're going to tense all of our muscles and then relax and match our breath with it. So we're going to start off by taking our attention down to our feet, maybe pulling the toes back towards our face, maybe pointing, whatever you want to do, but have some tension in your feet. Moving up the body to the shins, squeezing the calf muscles, maybe starting to squeeze the quadriceps, the hamstrings, engaging the leg muscles, squeezing and tightening, and then maybe squeezing the glutes, squeezing the hips, contracting the core, finding tension, then moving out to the arms, maybe clasping your hands, your fists, squeezing your arms muscles, your shoulders, maybe shoulders come up into the ears, tense everything, maybe the arms lift, tense your face all the way up to the top of the head. Take a deep breath in, and then you're going to exhale, let everything go. We're going to do that one more time. So tensing the feet, toes pull back. Maybe you flex the feet, maybe you point the toes, engaging the calves, squeezing the quadriceps, squeezing the hamstrings, engaging all the muscles of the legs, the hips, the core, the center, the shoulders, the arms, the fists, shoulders pull up in the ears, maybe even the face squeezes. Take a breath in, exhale, let everything go. And then maybe pause here for the next couple of breaths, the next couple of minutes even, and just allow the body to release. Taking a scan, noticing if the jaw starts to tighten up, maybe the eyes start to tense. Taking a quick little inventory of how your body feels, noticing any tight areas, and encouraging a sense of relaxation into those areas. So our first supported pose that we're going to do is a supported child's pose. And I suggest having some kind of pillow. You can use a yoga bolster as I obviously have. You might want to use couch cushions, a couple blankets, or a lot of blankets. You want to find a height that works for you. So this might take a bit of trial and error if you've never done this before. And then it's nice to have yoga blocks on either side. And if you don't have yoga blocks at home, you can always find a couple of books. You might find something else that's about the same thickness, maybe some smaller pillows. So I'm going to face the bolster, and I'm going to take my knees around the edges of the bolster and then have a seat back down. Again, this is really going to depend on your torso length as how much of a cushion or lift you want. I'm going to slowly kind of fold over this way, turn my head to one side, and then allow my arms to be supported by these blocks. If the blocks don't feel good for you, you can always move these out of the way and just let your arms hang here. It's obviously up to you what feels the most comfortable, what allows you to release the most. So in each of these poses, it's nice maybe to play some music, maybe light a candle or some incense, but find a position where you can completely let go. Close the eyes. You might want to set a timer in case you get confused as to how long you're going to be holding this. Find a time that feels the best for you. Close the eyes and just let your breathing go. So the next supported exercise that we're going to be doing is a supported bridge. So two things you can use. You can either choose to use a block, a pillow, a bolster, or maybe even some blankets. I'm going to demonstrate with a block and a bolster. I'll trade them out. So first one we're going to use is the block. We're going to lay down in this normal bridge pose here. Toes and knees point straight ahead. You're going to lift the hips up and place the block underneath your tailbone and your sacrum. You really want to make sure that your entire lower sacrum, your tailbone, is supported by the block. There's a tendency for some people to bring the block up higher and then the hips sink off the back, and that's just going to add a lot of pain to your lower back. So making sure this is in a good place. Palms can be up or down. Feet are going to come about mat distance apart, and you're going to allow the knees to spill in towards each other. If this doesn't feel as supported or as stable, you can always put blankets or, like I said, a bolster underneath your hips. So other option, blanket or bolster, gives you a little bit more cushion as well. It also allows you to have a little bit more support because you don't feel like you're going to fall off a block. So feet can be wide again, like I just had it with the knees spilling in. You might want to keep the knees pointed straight up, or you might want to extend both legs straight out. This is going to give you not only a nice stretch in your hip flexors, but also give you a good stretch in your lower back. This also is a place where you can just completely relax as opposed to having to worry about keeping your knees bent up. So again, letting your breath go, completely letting go of all effort, closing the eyes, maybe setting a timer for a couple minutes, and just breathing. So our next supported exercise is going to be supported Supta Baddha Konasana, which is a angle pose. So we're going to take a couple blocks and a bolster. So you may want to take a couple blocks and some blankets, a couple blocks and some pillows, or you may just want to use a pillow and that's it. So I'm going to demonstrate two of them. You're going to put, if you have blocks available to you, you're going to put the blocks in this T shape, so that one's higher and on the long edge, and one's kind of lower below it. You're going to place the bolster on top of these, so you're going to kind of make like a little incline. You're going to have a seat on at the very edge of it on the bottom, coming in this Baddha Konasana pose. So this is an angle pose, bound angle pose in yoga. And then you're going to slowly allow yourself to release down onto the bolster. Palms can be up or down. I typically like to place my palms up. And then you can just allow yourself to be again. Relax the breath, set a timer, shoulders relax, jaw relax, let go and let be. So another variation of this Supta Baddha Konasana supported is without the blocks. So if you don't have yoga blocks at home or anything that can substitute for that, you can always just use blankets or a pillow or just a bolster. So you're gonna lay down onto the bolster with your hips again in that same position. In this one, it invites a little bit more extension in your upper back. So I really encourage you to try this out before you actually do it, because if you do have any impingement in your back, this may not be suitable for you. It may not be beneficial to you. It may hurt. So always listening to your body. If it hurts, it's probably not a good idea. Taking palms up or down. I prefer to take my palms up. And then again, just allowing yourself to release downward into the floor, into the bolster, whatever support you have underneath your spine. Letting go of the effort of breathing and maybe setting a timer for a minute or two and just let go. So our last restorative pose and exercise that we're going to be doing today is a supported seated twist. So I have a bolster with a couple of blankets on it because I need a little extra height. Again, this is going to really depend on your torso length and to decide what you need. You'll know what you need once you try it and see if it feels like you can completely relax and release and it feels comfortable. So you're going to set yourself up by whatever kind of prop you want here to give you enough height. I call this sitting like a cheerleader, if you ever remember people taking pictures like a cheerleader. So you're going to take your thigh up against the bolster and you're going to take your foot up against your other thigh. This foot can be straight back or maybe it's off to the side. Either way, this hip that's away from the bolster is going to be slightly away from the floor, from the ground, and that's okay. You're going to take a breath and stretch your arms up super high. So again, you find length before you twist. You're going to twist towards the bolster and then slowly release downward. This is going to you're also going to depend on how long your torso is where your bolster, your support is going to be. So I kind of move mine out a little bit, and then you're going to allow yourself to release down. You can turn your head to one side here, or maybe stretching your neck, taking to the other side here. Either way, find a place where you feel you can support your head. So I'm going to move my blankets out a little bit more as well. Releasing the arms down, just allowing yourself to release down into the bolsters. Don't worry about keeping the hip reaching down, just allowing yourself to release. Let go of the effort of breathing, close the eyes, set a timer, and off you go. So this concludes our rest, restore, and feel the abundance day. I hope you enjoyed your restorative exercises and restorative poses. I know this could be a difficult day for some people, especially if you are a perfectionist like myself. It's really hard to let go of this need to do things. So I encourage you maybe to sprinkle these days in more often than not. And remember, at the heart of resting and relaxation is this sense of abundance, the sense of that I'm enough just as I am without needing to do anything or prove anything to anyone. Enjoy.